How's it going, good people? Danny Jennings here once again, owner of NOYA Inspired, aka Nobody Owes You Anything. It's the anthem, it's the mantra, it is an attitude, it is a mentality, and it is a movement. Oftentimes when I get off work here, because you see me in my Jobs for Michigan graduate shirt, got my Tigers in the background, representing Ben Harbor High School. I'm here daily teaching employability skills and preparing our young people for the workforce and life beyond these four walls here at BHHS on 870 Colfax. A lot of times when that day ends, I do not leave the building. I work, and I work some more. And, in addition to preparing for the next day or the next class or the next opportunity to serve, I'm still working on my book, Baseball, Black Then and Right Now. As in like back then and right now. Just a little play on words. As a spoken word artist, I have become infatuated with words, and that's kind of how I developed the name of this newest publication. So it's a grind, a grind that I love. I mean, I'm learning so much about black baseball in the process, and I'm learning so much about myself, learning so much about the history, those opportunities and those conversations with Reginald Howard, who is a mighty contributor to this project. It's just awesome. It's hard to, like, for instance, I go through this DVD here from 2008 of Reginald. I have this book, We Are the Ship, and it's talking about the Negro Leagues. Just a lot of information. I'm not sure what page I turned to. Looks like I turned to one with a photo, but it's just a lot of information, a lot of education. I have this interview from Reginald that I've listened to probably 25 times. It's like 22 minutes long, and just some valuable insight. I even have my camcorder here that I did an exclusive interview with Reginald, and I recorded it. We talked a lot about the history and how things were when he was growing up, and all they did was play baseball. It was baseball and boxing, and that was it, because there was no NFL, there was no NBA. So the professional spectrum of athletics was dominated by baseball and boxing. And the funny thing happened along the way, he said, was they started trying to steer them away from baseball. Literally. I mean, trying to convince them, although they grew up playing baseball, grew up loving baseball, they were trying to convince them that they didn't like baseball. You guys don't like baseball. You should start running track. His athletic director told him that. So when we talk about the segregation and the integration, it's deep rooted in racial discrimination. You talk about how the inner cities are set up in terms of youth leagues and youth sponsorship. We talk about how it's marketed. We talk about the costs. It's just so many different facets that is going to come to light in this particular book. That the plan is for a April 6th release date. That is the game plan. I'm working tirelessly to complete it and get it published and edited and everything else that needs to happen. But this is how I spend after school most of the time, and I spend a lot of evenings the same way. I want to provide an extravagant product that's going to be beneficial in terms of the education and the plight of black baseball. And the purpose is to not only educate, but to attempt to inspire more adults in terms of the American-born blacks, as well as teens and youth. to try to get them to understand that this isn't a situation where, you've just looked at this sport as an afterthought intentionally. No, there was sophisticated strategic design to try to keep you away because physically you've been dominant in boxing, dominant in basketball, dominant in football. And how will one be maintained for the American born white? We have to put a ceiling on how many of them that we're going to allow in this league, in this industry. And the way we got to do that is through several different avenues. So I'll rest this right here, and I'm sure there'll be more feedback and conversation, and people are going to agree and disagree. That's fine. That's legal. That is allowed. I love the dialogue. I love the challenge, and I love this grind of creating this and bringing it to life for people who had absolutely no idea, because I was one of those people. See you soon. Talk to you next time. We're going to grind. I'm about to write. I'll get at you soon. Nobody owes you anything.